and blessings. Welcome, everybody. Today, I wanted to talk about your pre-birth plan. The question I get asked a lot is, do things just happen to us? Or is everything kind of specifically set up for us? Today, I'm going to give you some insight on that so you know how to perceive your life on earth. The truth is, we come to life on earth having charted our life heavily. My guides started showing to me way back in the very beginning a book and also a roadmap. And they showed me how we chart our incarnations, how we chart our life on earth. Before we come here, our soul sits down with Jesus and then also with what's called the council. The council is, look at it like a board of the elders. And then also everything is with God's final approval and the supervision with God throughout this process. You sit down and you chart with them, with their advice on what you want to accomplish with advancing your soul, such as if you wanted to accomplish becoming more forgiving, more brave, more loving, more resilient. In addition to also, you have to clear up your negative karmic debt. Those are the things that make you feel discomfort, pain, suffering, misery, illness, lack of love, struggles, your hardships, all the difficult, painful things that you go through in life. Those can be, and those are, your karmic consequences, your punishments. And you also have to chart in, this is the good part, your karmic blessings. Those are all of the positive gifts and rewards that you have earned that you get to now collect on. Those are the things that make you happy, the things in life that bring you joy, happiness, love, success. Those are all the positive things that give you all those moments of this is why you're happy, living life on earth experiences. Love, they just showed me, having good health, having your dreams come true, your dream job, your dream house, your dream soulmate. You want children, your dream children. You sit down and you're faced with all of these challenges. And with the advice of Jesus, God, and the elders, you very carefully and very meticulously chart all the different experiences that are going to get you where you want and need to be with your soul's growth, and then also what you have to do to clear up your negative karmic debt, and also what you get to receive as those rewards and those gifts. It is basically what my guides show to me, your book of life. And they'll show it to me like your book of life, and they'll show it to me in this chapter of your life on earth. You charted to be married with kids. In this chapter, you charted to go through a divorce and be single. In this chapter, you charted to have excellent health. In this chapter, you charted to go through cancer. They showed me every single chapter in your book. You have planned and charted yourself. In addition to planning and charting your experiences, you also handpick and chose your soulmates and kindred spirits. Sometimes it is very hard to believe. I know. And that's why they just use the term right now. Even those really difficult moments with your soulmates that you can't believe is actually a soulmate. My guides taught me years ago. Handpicked and chosen by you. They gave me very advanced insight on the reality of how we chart our experiences down to actually the key players in our life. Your biological family, your best friends, your spouses, your children, even your main bosses. You chart all of your soulmates and then also your kindred spirits. These are the people that are going to do a couple things. They're going to bring the lessons and the tests to you that are going to test you, to help you expand, challenge you, which is how you evolve. They're also going to be the ones that are going to make life easier, bring you that love, give you those gifts and rewards. All of those players in your life are literally people that the council and Jesus have either suggested are the right fit for you to execute the mission of whatever it is you wanted to complete, along with you agreeing to go through it. You chart everything in detail, down to how you physically look, with boundaries and limitations. You chart your eye color and hair color and your height. If you've earned your desired height of, let's just say 5'10", and you want green eyes, if you've earned that, if you've had a gift from God given to you that you get to have those green eyes, then you get to have green eyes. If you want green eyes, but you've not earned that gift of green eyes, you may have to have brown eyes, hazel eyes, or blue eyes. So there is like a combination of, here's your wish list of what you want to look like, combined with what you've earned with your, again, karmic blessings. You have your book meticulously charted down to every single main event, every chapter in your life, every key core player, which means every soulmate, every kindred spirit, down to how you physically look, down to your health challenges, also your health strengths, physical limitations, disabilities, predispositions, etc. You come here with your very detailed book of life. Also, what they showed to me as a roadmap, your roadmap. Before you get here, all of a sudden, right when you're in the process of arriving, God sends you into amnesia. Here's the hard part. In heaven, you had full clarity that you charted this with this person to accomplish becoming more forgiving. That you charted, we'll say for an example, somebody has a drinking problem. And this time they're really going to live life sober, and they're not going to let alcohol rule their lives, and they're not going to get sucked in this time again. And they charted that their boyfriend or their sister are going to help them with it, and here's our players that are going to help them with it. But then here is a temptation that's going to come in and test them and try to pull them into it, but you're going to be strong to that temptation. We'll say it's a sister. So you have all these dynamics and challenges. Okay, you have full memory of who to stay away from at what level, who to align with, where to be careful, where to go in, where to go out. You might have, they just showed me, gotten yourself into trouble in your last incarnation with vanity and materialism. You might have that predisposition to making yourself feel good through shopping and overly spending on clothes, makeup, the vanity trap. And this time in your incarnation, you're not going to make that mistake again. And then here's the test, here's the temptations, and here's the people that can help you or how you're going to get helped. You have full memory of it in heaven. Amnesia happens. All of a sudden, that safety net is gone. You come here to earth, you don't have full clarity. You are in a state of amnesia, which means you are not able to consciously access full mental clarity on what you charted and what the right choice is. You are forced to have to make your choices based on letting yourself be guided by intuition, as well as mental intellect, as well as also divine guidance through your psychic channels. Divine guidance would be guidance from God, Jesus, your family of guides and angels, as well as any of your loved ones who have departed and are on the other side. You are in a state of picking and choosing the choices you make based on intellect, habit, intuition, guidance through your psychic channels, all under a state of amnesia. God has given you the gift of intuition and psychic channels to help guide you while you are here, so that you can and so that you do make the wise choices for yourself and pass your tests in your book of life. God wants you to accomplish everything you charted for yourself. It is a test for us whether or not to connect and to believe in our intuitive part of our being, which is our intuition and our psychic channels, as well as God, to believe in God and heaven and the guides and angels that serve God, that are assigned to us, who help us. It is a choice to turn away and not. When you turn away and you shut that door on heaven, on God and the guides and angels, you are shutting a door on the most valuable gift He gave to you, the gift of receiving information through your intuition and your psychic channels, which means your decision-making process just became extremely deficient. You will most likely make mistakes when you go through your book of life. This is where you will get off track again and again and again and make the poor, unwise choices. If you want to make the wise choices to keep you on track, to making the right choices that will lend you to succeed in your experiences, The only way to do it is to trust and follow your intuition and your psychic channels, because that is how heaven guides you. And it is only through the guidance of heaven that you will ever make the wise choices when you're up against all of the challenges you're up against here on earth, when you're going through all of your experiences and also being tempted in all the ways that there are temptations here on earth. When we get off track in our path on earth, what happens is things in your book of life will either get delayed, suspended for a small period of time, a long period of time, and it could even get delayed for that entire incarnation, depending on how far you have literally drove yourself off track. What they've shown to me is, because of free will, they cannot force you to make a choice. You are ultimately going to make every single one of your choices. Your guides, your angels, God and Jesus are going to lovingly try to assist you and give you their advice through them, also through their real messengers. If you choose to ignore heaven's wisdom and you make a decision from your lower ego, and it is an unwise decision, and it's the decision that says, listen to that sister, drink that alcohol, become a bigger alcoholic, and now you are not succeeding in that experience, that test, but rather you are failing in it. Any goal that you wanted to accomplish is going to be delayed until you accomplish it. So they show me how people get off track all the time in their life on earth because they've made the wrong choice. When that happens, we have to eventually figure out, made the wrong choice. Recognize it, recognize where you went wrong, and get yourself back on to making the right choice. I've seen it down to absolutely everything. They've shown me how people think they're marrying the right person when in fact they married the wrong person, and it lends to nothing but misery for X amount of years until they finally are willing to admit it, recognize it, and switch their circumstances. Same thing with their jobs. Same thing with their habits. It is, Kuan Yin just said, chronic. It is a chronic condition here on earth that we are getting on and off track on our path. And it comes down to not listening to our higher self, and we're not listening to heaven guide us through the gift of intuition and psychic channels. When we get off track, everything that you charted shifts. So even though everything was set up one way, everything on earth will move accordingly based on if you have succeeded or not succeeded on one of your tests. If somebody is doing exceptionally well, God can bring them the goal for their mission and the reward sooner than what they had planned for themselves, and reward them that goal and that gift earlier if they've completed it earlier. If it has taken them 5 years longer, then it's literally suspended for 5 years longer. If somebody has literally walked away from it, it may be completely suspended for that incarnation. So look at it like there is a constant shifting that happens with all of your tests and your goals with your book of life. And it's because of how you use the gift of your free will. Heaven's wishes is that you use the gift of your free will by willingly letting in heaven's wisdom, by believing in a higher power, by believing in God and Jesus, and by willingly cooperating and humbly and gratefully receiving and accepting the wisdom that they are so graciously willing to guide you with, to keep you on track with your book of life so that you succeed in your missions and can receive the gifts that go along with your successes. Otherwise, the alternative is you will get off track. So there is the answer. Is there a pre-birth plan? Absolutely, positively, yes. Does it change? In most all circumstances, it changes to some degree during the average incarnation on earth by the average human being. But now that you have this enlightenment, you can do something about it. You can make your changes to the negative of becoming off track become dramatically less frequent by learning to meditate and let the wisdom of heaven come in more frequently, by learning to surrender to receiving and seeking the divine guidance with your decision making on a regular basis versus going from your ego, going from habit, and also going from the advice of earthlings. I hope that this helps you have a greater understanding of life on earth and the reality that you did chart every single chapter in your book of life on earth, and that God has given you tremendous help, and now you know how to access it. We hope that that is exactly what you do. Until next time, namaste and blessings to each of you.